Hello there. I'm wondering if someone asked you how your life was going, would you be able to say, I'm living at my best? Well, if not, it's possible that one reason for that is our topic for today. And our series is called Get Your Self Out of the Way. And today we're talking about self sabotage. My name is Donna Woolham, and I'm the founder of Living at My Best. I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. I've worked with women from across the United States, and I have learned personally and through working with women that there are a lot of different ways that we slow ourselves down when we're moving forward in progress. So that is one of the reasons why I became a licensed professional coach in life and business. I am an author and a speaker. I am a lover of the Lord Jesus Christ, and I believe that my calling is to work with ambitious Christian women who have a desire to create a life and a business that resonates with the very core of who they are. In my personal life, I am so proud to be married to my darling Richard. In fact, we're just been married almost 38 years. I'm a mom to two incredible men. My daughter-in-law, Jamie, is the joy and the daughter that I could have wished for if I'd birthed her. She is incredible, and I'm so thankful for her. I get to be Nana to Ian and Callista, the two light of my life grandchildren. I'm so thankful for them. Today, our topic is about that number one killer of all purposeful growth in life and business. You know, it doesn't matter what other people say, and it doesn't matter what other people do. It matters what we say and what we do. And often, self-sabotage is a crippler for us in our business. Because if we don't get a handle on this area, it's really difficult to move forward in the other areas. And as I was doing a little bit of study about sabotage, I ran across something really interesting, and I wanted to share that with you today. In the early days of the Industrial Revolution in France, manufacturers would have groups of people that they would work long hours for little pay. And there was a group of people who protested those activities, and they were known as saboteurs, of course. But where did that name come from? In those days, a lot of people did not have money to buy leather shoes, and so they would carve their shoes or buy shoes that were carved out of blocks of wood, and those were called sabots. And when they got upset, they would throw their shoes into the machinery. Thus was born the term saboteur. And so, my question to you is, are you throwing your shoes into the machinery of your life? Are you tossing in activities? Are you doing things that stop the forward progress, the machinery, and the growth of your life and business? If so, you probably are in the process of self-sabotage. There are a lot of ways we self-sabotage, and one of those is procrastination. Procrastination, it doesn't need a lot of explanation. We know what that is. It's putting things off until the last minute. But if you are a victim of procrastination, you probably are finding yourself under a lot of stress. And not only you, but the people around you are feeling stressed. Your unwillingness to do the things that need to be done when they need to be done is causing you to be behind on your projects, be behind on your commitments, and it's causing trouble for other people as well. Procrastination is dangerous not only for your own well-being, but for your relationships and your business growth. Self-medication is another way we self-sabotage. And you may be thinking, well, I don't do drugs and I'm not I don't drink a lot of alcohol. But self-medication comes through in a lot of different ways, and it can be activities that we pursue. There's not anything wrong with exercise, but if you are fanatical about it and you are exercising all the time, then there is a problem. A great meal and something terrific shared with friends is there's nothing wrong with that. But if you always find yourself running for food to take care of your issues, then you are self-sabotaging. And so you could probably think of a list of any number of things that would be self-medicating. And we will talk about the reason for that in just a moment. Busyness. We wear it as a badge. I'm so busy. And we feel proud when someone says, "Oh, she is so busy. She always has something going on." But the truth is, busyness is a masquerade for activity. And it is a way that we keep ourselves from doing the things that we need to commit to. And we'll chat about that in a few minutes too. But I just want to ask you, do you find yourself sabotaging your forward progress with busyness? Here's one that you might not ever think about as self-sabotage, and it's bullying. And I'm not talking about being mean to other people. I'm talking about being cruel to yourself, saying mean, hateful, horrible things to yourself that you would never allow another person to say to you or to someone you love. Let's talk about that too and find out how we can change our attitude about bullying. And then there's research. And I want to raise my hand right here and say I have been so guilty of this one. Because in research, you're looking for all of the answers before you move forward. You're fighting the perfection mode, and you are looking for ways to increase your skill or increase your knowledge. And is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. But when it stops your forward progress, then it becomes sabotage. So, how do we overcome these issues of self-sabotage? I want to present to you that in procrastination, a little precision planning might do the trick. And what I mean by that is considering your overall project, your overall event, the overall plan that you're trying to work toward. And maybe you only have a week to finish that, or maybe you have 3 or 4 months, or it may be a year-long project or event. One of the great ways that you can help yourself is to think about that end result and all of the big pieces that go into that. All of the milestone places that will help you complete your project, your event, your report, whatever it is you're working on. What are the big pieces? And you may be familiar with the big rocks, the medium, small rocks, the water, that whole thing of putting in your big rocks first. Well, if you can identify your big rocks, then you can spread them out over a nice timeline and be able to pay attention to them and get the big pieces done. And say, for instance, you have 3 months to work on a project. Just figure out those big pieces and think over the next 3 months, what do you need to do? Do you need to plan an event location? Do you need to secure that? Put that down for one of your weeks that you're going to secure the event location. Maybe you need some people that you need to recruit for your team. Put a timeline on that. Give yourself a specific week that you're going to work for recruiting your team in. If you'll do those pieces little by little, before you know it, you get to the end of the deadline and everything is done, except those last minute things that have to be done. You have more peace and rest about you. Your team has more clarity. They're excited about what's going on. The people that you're working for, working with, or serving all have a lot more confidence about the process as well. In self-medication, the question that we have to ask ourselves is, where is the pain? Why am I medicating myself with activity or alcohol or drugs or food or relationships or any number of things? What am I trying to cover up? Where am I in pain? And when you can begin to look at that, even if it is a big, big area in your life, something that you've carried with yourself for a long time, if you will just simply begin the process by acknowledging there's something going on, then you can start the process of healing. And instead of sabotaging your life or sabotaging your business, you can begin to be healed and be made whole. Busyness. Now, what I want to ask you is, if you're busy doing everything except the right thing, why are you afraid? Why are you afraid to do what needs to be done to move you forward? Why are you afraid to start the book? Why are you afraid to put yourself out there as a speaker? Why are you afraid to recruit a new team member? Why are you afraid to build your blog? Why are you afraid to go out and meet those people that you know would make your life better? Why are you afraid? Again, it's a matter of being afraid to commit, to really put your foot out there and say, I'm going to do this. Maybe you're afraid of failure. That's what everyone says. Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to fail. Well, ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen if this doesn't work out? Or maybe you're afraid of success. Maybe afraid that the people that you love won't love you anymore, or won't like you, or will think poorly of you. These two questions are up on a sheet of paper on my wall. One is, what has fear cost me? And the other is, what is fear costing me now? Ask yourself those questions and see if you can move forward out of the busyness trap. When it comes to bullying, and you're standing and looking at yourself in the mirror and you're saying hateful things about yourself, or you've worked on a project and it didn't turn out quite the way you hoped, or you're in the middle of a situation that's stressful and you hear all of these words going through your head, I want you to practice conscious kindness and empowerment. Think about what you would say to someone that you deeply love that was going through something like you are. How would you encourage them? How would you help them? Do the same thing for yourself. Practice being loving and kind to yourself. And if you wouldn't say it to another person, or you wouldn't stand for anyone to say it to someone you love, don't say it to yourself. When you find yourself in the research trap and you just can't quite get yourself to the point where you're going to release the course or the video, when you're not putting up the blog post, and when you're not creating the podcast, and when you're not working on your book or your song that you've written, or the beautiful artwork that you've worked on that you're just going to do just a little bit more before you show it to the world, I want you to just stop and understand that perfection is the enemy of done. And you can work the rest of your life and it will never be perfect. I'm just going to tell you that. Things will happen that won't be just right. But if you will work through the process, and if you'll just take one step at a time and just let go of what you're doing right now, serve it out into the world, you can always come back later and do it a little bit differently, fix it just a little bit, and release it again. Set it out there again. If you don't let it go, you will never, never fulfill and complete the calling that God has on your life. You will continue to struggle and to strive instead of beginning to move forward. So as we begin to wrap all of this up, I want to ask you to put your hand over your heart and make some promises to yourself, to be honest about some things, to be honest when you find yourself in procrastination and say, I'm going to create something that I can do and finish this week. When you find yourself self-medicating, be honest about that and be willing to look at the pain and acknowledge it so that you can start to move forward in life, so that you can start to heal. When you're busy doing all the wrong things, just stop and say, I am afraid of committing. I'm afraid of setting this forth and setting it out. And I'm going to take 10 minutes and do the right thing right now. And when you're bullying yourself and you're saying hurtful and cruel things about yourself, stop and speak loving, kind, empowering words over yourself. And if you don't know what to say, grab your Bible, get hold of the Psalms, and start quoting what David said about himself in front of the Lord. That he is the apple of God's eye, that he is fearfully and wonderfully made. And when you're in research mode, understand that sometimes you have to put a period on it and you have to let it go and trust that the work is good enough. It's okay. Let it go, let it out, and then start on the next project. So what I'd love for you to do is join me at the Living at My Best Facebook group. All you have to do is go to facebook.com and look for the Living at My Best group. Just submit your request to join the group and I'll approve you. I would love to hear your thoughts and hear you share the ways that you are overcoming self-sabotage. Please share this video with a friend or two and encourage them to come over to the website and to learn more for themselves about how to stop self-sabotage and how to be free. And remember, this is just part of the series of getting yourself out of the way. There are 3 more topics to go. Keep your promises to yourself. And then reach out to me if you'd like help with any of these areas. You can find me at donna@donnawoolham.com or at my website, donnawoolham.com. Remember that you can go from confusion to clarity and turn your passion into profit. That Living at My Best is all about supporting ambitious Christian women in life and business. I'm here to serve you, and I'm here to help you live at your best.